Hello, everybody. It's Tom Chenault. It's Adrian Chenault, and it is the Legacy Leadership Radio Show. Very excited to the show today because it's going to be a lot of fun. And Adrian is really nervous, and it's pretty cotton picking cute. He loves Moe Aduan, and he should. He is a good man. He's solid. He's fun, and I love him too. So we inherited him through a guy named Rick Raditz. And as usual, you end up liking the other guy more than the first guy. Sorry, Rick, not true. We like Rick too. But it's a great day in River City. We got him, huh?
We've got him. I love this guy.
Yeah, we've wanted you on for a long time, Mo.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So I always most enjoy the show when I feel like I am getting to introduce someone incredible to the world that not many of our audience will already know. And Mo is one of those guys. And what I love about this person, first of all, is his heart. You get to know people and you can tell when you've got somebody that really is genuine in who they are. And Mo is that person to a T. And then I heard his story. And this is literally the first time I think I've ever read a bio on the radio, but his bio is so cool, and we're going to get into his story in more detail in a second. But his bio and his background is so amazing that I am going to read it, and I promise I'll go fast and not.
No, before you do it though, here's what happens to us with every show. Whether it's whoever it is, I'm telling you, they hand us their dossier of questions they want to ask, and we heave it in the trash because we want to talk to the person, not the resume, except when it comes to Mo. And I am going to tell you, this is going to blow your mind. This guy is a rock star of epic proportion. Take it away, Adrian.
All right. So Mo is just a remarkable guy. So Mo arrived in the United States at age 18 to build his life. He put himself through college by making falafel and driving taxis before graduating from the University of Colorado, Denver with a bachelor's degree in accounting. In 2009, he founded Royal Bookkeeping and Accounting and has since gone on to help businesses scale, helping numerous firms to go public. He has founded or co-founded and invested in over 30 businesses, including New Life Natural, which hit number 16 on the Inc. 5000 in 2020, Meetin.com, a rapidly growing Zoom competitor based in Vancouver, and RBAS Payroll, which was acquired by Paychex. Aduan has earned a reputation for teaching entrepreneurs to succeed and has spoken to, mentored, and coached entrepreneurs all over the world. Mo is also a major philanthropist. He is a board member of Denver's Mile High Club, a professional membership organization that fosters discussion on a broad range of subjects relating to the community. And he supports Friends of Jiol, which enables Senegalese girls to achieve success through educational resource. Mo has 2 sons and enjoys hanging out with them and golfing in his free time. And Mo, that is a crazy, impressive story. And it just doesn't even begin to do justice to who you are. So first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me and for the introduction. It's great to be here. I'm a huge fan of your show, huge fan of Tom for a long time. So this is a great opportunity.
Well, we want to know the man behind the story. And I want you just to start, tell our audience where you grew up and what led up to you coming to the United States at 18 years old.
Well, it's the American dream started for me when I was 7 years old. And I was a huge fan of the US. I was born and raised in the West Bank area in Palestine. And growing there, I started watching American shows. One of them is MacGyver, where a duct tape will save the world. The other one, Hulk Hogan. And then that got me really interested in life in the US. And I started dreaming about one day I'm going to make my life in the US and work my way around getting there. So I really worked really hard and started doing research. So I memorized everything about San Francisco because my uncle lived there at the time. So I started asking him questions. And then I fell even more in love with it, that I learned that you can work in the US and go to school at the same time and make about $800. That was the number that my uncle threw at me when I was so low. And then I put it in my head. So the first thing I did, if you enter my room when I was like 7, 8-ish, you will see a huge picture of MacGyver, a big picture of Hulk Hogan, and then an American flag.
Wow.
And every night I will look at those pictures, and one day I'm going to be there. I don't know how, because coming to the US is almost next to impossible. And I will talk about that also, how the journey took me to get the interview and the visa. So that was so exciting. So growing my love to coming to the US to live the American dream started when I was 7. Every year has just got better and better. The minute I finish high school, I need to apply for a visa, student visa, to come and go to school in San Francisco State University. That was the school that was in my head. That's where my uncle graduated from. So I got that idea, and I was so hungry to get to that dream. So one day after my high school, I applied for school, San Francisco State University. And I remember they sent me for an interview at the US consulate in Jerusalem. And I started, I took the first bus about 10 to 11 p.m. for the next day interview. And I got there about 3 in the morning, and there were lines of people. The line probably has 100 to 200 people waiting to interview that day. 2 people got granted a visa that day, me and another person, out of all these people. So right there, it's the happiest moment I have ever lived in my life. I don't know how I made it back home to my house after I got the visa. I think I must have flew or got teleported there. I don't remember any of that. So I get home, I'm so excited. I'm going to go to the United States. I'm going to work and become a taxi driver, because that was the job that my uncle told me I can do, become a taxi driver and make $800 and go to school at the same time. So I'm so excited, but now we're faced with a problem. How do we get the money for the airplane ticket?
Yeah.
So my mom gave birth to my brother 2 weeks before then. And somehow she was able to, she got a check for $600 help from the government when she gave birth. So she gave me that check, and the ticket was $621 one way to America.
Wow.
Wowie.
Yes, and that was the happiest moment in my life, landing in San Francisco. About in the late afternoon, my uncle, wife, and kids came to the plane. Back then, you can walk actually almost inside the plane to meet somebody.
Yeah.
So they walked in, I came out, and they said, "We're taking you to dinner." And I was just amazed by the scenery, the cars, the building, downtown San Francisco, O'Farrell Street. And then they took me to a place where I had my first American dream, and they hand you the food through a window. It's called McDonald's. Oh my God, it was the best meal ever. I enjoyed it so much. I was like, food through a window? This is the land of opportunity for sure. So excited, so excited. So the very next day I start working. And the way I start working is they ask, how do I get downtown? So my uncle wife said, this is the bus you take. It will get you to the stop, you get off, and you start looking for a job. And that's when I start looking for a job the very next day. And I hit about 30 businesses by noon. And I couldn't find any job at the time because they kept asking me for something called Social Security number that you have to have in order to get a job, which I didn't have, neither I know what that is.
Yeah.
So it was pretty interesting. And then I'm walking down Market Street, trying to figure it out. I ran into a mosque. So I figured, and it was a Friday noon, I figured some people are going to come out of that after the prayer, and maybe I can ask them and they speak the same language. So I was trying to connect the dots and remember this advice, always look for the smiley face. So I stood outside forecasting people and looking and judging people and see who do I want to approach and ask for a job. So I start looking for the people who are smiling the most. And I walked to the first guy, was not very helpful, but the second smiley face was amazing. It was amazing. He was like, Sure, you just landed. He called his friend over. He got so excited. He said, yes, we'll help you get the job. No worries. But first, we have to take you to lunch. And that's where I discovered the second most amazing thing that I never seen before. So they took me to this place, and they have piles of food on the table, and you can fill your plate of as much as you want and eat it. I was shy, so I didn't do much. And it's called Indian buffet in San Francisco. Oh my God, the food was so good. I was careful to know the name so I can go back at a later time and eat a full meal. So that was the story, the second day in the US. And then they took me to this falafel place, and the guy hired me on the first day, where I worked 7 days a week for the first 2.5, 3 years. Literally just 1/2 day off on a Thanksgiving, which I didn't know what Thanksgiving was until he said there is no customer today. It's called Thanksgiving, so you guys can go home. But during that time, I worked 7 days a week and 5 days school. So every day I will take a sandwich home so I can eat it at school. And then when I get to work, the first thing I eat. So that was my source of food for the first 2.5 years.
How much money did you have in your pocket when you landed in the United States?
When I landed, I had almost $300.
Wow.
$300. But by the time school started, I ended up saving for the semester. And I lived in a hotel. The first 2 weeks I lived with my uncle. Then I lived in a hotel on Mission Street. For those of you who know San Francisco, Mission Street is not where you want to be, but that's where I lived. In a hotel for the first few months until I was able to share a room with another guy in the Sunset area. So that was the story. And then 2.5 years later, I was 21. So I applied to become a taxi driver. But there's a catch to being a taxi driver at 21 in San Francisco. Is I worked for this company where the insurance did not like my age. I'm too young, so I'm a high risk.
Yeah.
But the owner was so nice, and he knows I go to school and I'm doing all this. So what he will do, he will fire me every 2 weeks because the insurance will refuse me. And then I will apply again and work again for 2 to 4 weeks before I'm fired again. So I did that for a year. It was amazing. By then I can afford my own food.
That is so awesome. What a story. We're talking to Moe Aduan, who's an investor, a philanthropist, an entrepreneur, and just a perfect example of the American dream. We'll be back right after this. Stick around.
And he tries to back people just like him.
I know.
That's what's so beautiful.
It's
Put the
so
people
cool.
up. So
I know. I'm going.
Scott Schilling's here, man.
I know.
We got
That's the best.
Holy mackerel. I can't believe it. Thomas Vella, Christina, Terry Dawson, one of the smartest women I know. Chad Williams, human being. Look at Christina, incredible. Elizabeth Larson, Thomas Vella, J. Michael Smith, Kirk Barber. Very good to see you guys. If you ever thought the cards were stacked against you, no. And we're back. It's Tom Chenault. This is the Legacy Leadership Radio Show. We are here on the Genesis Communication Network. Thank you, Ted Anderson, for keeping us around all these years. And we're talking to my buddy Moe, who is an absolute gem. And we wanted to spend some time getting to why this guy is so about the underdog and looking for guys just like him to back with his money and his expertise, because he knows literally everybody has got a story that will bring you to your knees if you'll just take the time to listen. And he's looking for those people whose stories are rich and tough and everything, but it doesn't define them. It makes them stronger. That's Moe, and take it away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
So
you.
Moe, I want to fast forward a little bit and
Sure.
get into a bit of your entrepreneurial life, because you've done so much there. And so you got an accounting degree. You come out of that accounting world, and that was, and your first sort of entry into the world of entrepreneurship was in the world of accounting, correct?
Correct, yeah. So it took me about 10 years to graduate bachelor degree because I was working and going to school at the same time. But along those times, I did many internships. I will call companies and say, hey, can I intern for free? and just learning about business and how to connect the dots and see, I know I have a grand vision to be something, but I didn't know what that is. I allowed everything else out there to lead me to it. So I started my accounting company in 2009 with very little money and very little experience. We all know that time was tough because it's right after the crash. However, I started offering services for free, in just going from business to business, trying to offer them services. By 2014, we built really nice, sizable accounting firm. At the same time, I start investing in real estate and small businesses. So if you have a business, the deal I was making with them is, I can grow your business, but I will not charge you any money. The way I will charge you is I want equity if we succeed and achieve those goals that we set forward. So I end up doing that with a bunch of companies. Between 2014, 2016, I was able to probably 7 to 10 companies that we end up helping. 2016, that's when I started as a group investing in other businesses financially and also with experience. And one of them was a New Leaf Natural. We started in 2016. I came on board to help them out. By 2019, they were number 11 on Inc. 5000. And we had even an offer from Johnny Walker at valuation of $400 million. Yeah, we took the sales from 20,000 monthly sales to 4 million monthly sales at some point. And the concept we used is very simple. Stay focused on the product and trying to improve the product and have less SKUs. A lot of companies that I go into when I'm trying to help them out, they have too many products or too many services. So what I focus on, my main thing, focus on lower those SKUs, the product, and lower the services. Focus on 1 to 4 things. And then you can focus on those, so all your energy is going in one place, and then you can focus on providing value to take them to the next level. And that's one of the main things that we did.
How interesting. So you started off, your entry point into those organizations was you came in and you were offering them some of your accounting services and getting equity sort of as the substitution for getting in there. And that has kind of led you into this model of being able to help all these companies.
Yeah, not even offering them accounting. If they're a client of mine, that's great. But if they're not a client and I see a business, I did a lot of mentoring to businesses. If you have a question, you need a couple of hour consulting, I'll do it for free. And that allowed me to discover amazing business opportunities, number one, but also amazing entrepreneurs. And the main concept when I do an investment or I invest my time with somebody, I look at the operator, because that's the most important and valuable asset in the company is the actual operator, not the product, not what you're selling, but the operator.
There you go. It's a people business more than it is anything else at the end of the day. Correct. That is so cool. So you worked with New Leaf Naturals, made it to 11 on the Inc. 5000. One of your magnificent obsessions is Meetin.com that you're working with right now, and they're taking over the world and taking on Zoom, which is the 8,000-pound gorilla in the world of video conferencing, and they're making huge waves. And you're just out there supporting these organizations and helping them to be able to go to the next level. And that's led on to some really amazing things. So we're going to take a quick break here. And on the other side, I want to pick that thread up because I've seen how you continue to operate at a higher and higher level in supporting these organizations and opening new doors and doing some cool new things. So we're going to talk about that on the other side. Our guest is Moe Aduan. And if you are listening on the radio, I'm going to read this out to you because I want to make sure you go and check out Moe and what he has to offer. So he has a link tree. So it's Linktree, but tr.ee and then /Moe, MOE, Aduan, Aduan. So make sure you go check him out. We'll be right back. I blew that.
Sorry, Tom Sheffield. That's our producer. We missed it by 5 seconds. Man alive, you are a rock star, Moe, and you guys are going to understand why we love him right after the break. It took us a long time to get here, but I will tell you, this guy is amazing, and he's going to be able to change your life, Chantel Hansen. I love you. Here we go. And we're back. It's Tom Chenault. It's Adrian Chenault. It is the Legacy Leadership Show, and we are having a blast with somebody who is one of the most amazing guys because he's so accomplished. He's so deep. But you would think when you sit with him, you are the only person in the world. He is so present and so giving. It's just unbelievable. All he wants to do is pay it forward. And all he does is that. And it has paid off in spades for him. And the entire premise is it's the human being that drives the whole thing, not the technology, not the company. That's important. But he backs the people. And I love that. Don't you?
I absolutely do. And so, Mo, I feel like we'd be missing a huge piece of who you are in your story if we didn't get into talking about what you do as a philanthropist. And there's such an intertwining of what you do with entrepreneurs and what you're doing there. And so I'd love for you just to share, especially some of the work that you're doing here in our hometown of Denver with the homeless, because I just think it's remarkable and it's something that we want to shine a light on.
Sure. So, I start with people. I like to start with people when they're really young, because I think that's when you really get to change somebody's life and make a huge difference. So what I did from day one is have internship programs at my company. Every company I do. So I have programs with CU Denver, with Metro State. So we bring students. I think over the years, we have over 100 interns who come through my companies to do internships. And we grade them, some of them we hire them. So investing in young entrepreneur is the key here, because their brain is like a sponge. They take the information and they really value it. On the other side, as a community, I'm a member of the Mile High Club, which is in Denver. It was founded 1902, and what we do is we bring the community to certain issues that basically affects our community and where we live in. Because I'm a big believer, if you live in a community, you have to put your heart and soul in it, and you cannot be who you are without the community help. You could be successful, and I know successful people, but unless you're connected with your community, with your people, with the society you're in, you're nobody, unfortunately. The homeless shelter project, we bought a building west of Denver right here, and we were trying to turn it into a homeless shelter. Unfortunately, that project, we're facing a lot of difficulties because the neighborhood does not want us to have that kind of business down there, which I understand. So we might be turning it into a different project, but that's still in the works. It has not been completed. We might have to shift it in order to implement that. And that's part of giving to the community, part of being true to the community you're in. I know I didn't grow up in the US, but you are where you live. And you need to contribute to the community you are. And that's how you become true to your ancestors and where you came from, in my opinion. So I'm here. That's where my heart and soul need to be.
That's beautiful. And it is. It's so, I think it's so important. There's important causes all over the world. And it's not to say that you don't take on some of those causes as well. But
we do.
Really, investing in caring for what's happening in your own backyard is such an important thing, and it's much needed. And so, I love that you're doing that. And one of the things that I'm curious about is, speaking of making contributions all around the world, it has come a bit full circle for you recently in having some opportunities to leverage your background and your ability to speak multiple languages, and especially in the Middle East, where there's a hunger for some of the experiences and the knowledge that you have come to pick up along the way. Talk about some of what you're doing on the other side of the world.
Absolutely. We have a saying, if you want to change the world, you start with your own backyard, which means starting here and then you venture out. So one of the things I'm doing, I really want to help entrepreneurs around the world, but mostly in the Middle East, because I do speak Arabic. So that's one of the things we're trying to focus on. So I was in a tour about a month ago in Dubai. We have planned an event in November. It's going to be in Dubai. And then we have one in Jordan. And I met with the Minister of Labor and a bunch of business people there that we're going to collaborate with them with certain softwares they're working on, and basically implement consulting agreements with them to help entrepreneurs in that region. I feel the world is becoming one word, and especially with technology right now, you can outsource things everywhere. And I want to make sure we help everybody, because when you help people, people help you.
And what's happened with us is every time we sit down with you, your comment is not what are you going to do for me? Your comment is you need to meet this guy, you need to meet this guy, you need to meet that guy. And what Mo's done is unbelievable, because he's created connection all over this planet. And he's got the connections for everybody that you can imagine to help you build your business, to help you do what you're going to do. If you turn on the news down here in Denver, Colorado, all of a sudden they have the business section, and here comes Mo, and he's out there advising small businesses in Colorado. And then it goes all the way to a global platform, because it's all the same. The people that you treat right in business will be the people you do business with forever. Mo understands it. He's connecting the dots like we've never seen before. And he talked about young people, and he and Adrian, I mean, I'm not in that category. These two have just locked arms. And I watched what he did with Rick Raditz and this company called Meetin.com. And it's just amazing, because you can see it marching forward at a really, really great pace, according to a business plan that is an orchestrated plan to build a big business. And most people don't do that, because they don't have a Mo behind the scenes, not taking the credit, but really driving the bus. It's pretty remarkable, don't you think?
I do. And
he's helped us in contact mapping a lot.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, two things I'll say to that. One is, Mo, the biggest thing that I've learned about you and learned from you is when you think about helping, your knowledge is absolutely a major part of what you're able to share to help. But so often I watch you think in terms of, how do I put the right people together in order to help this business or this person get to where they need to go? And so it seems that you work as much through your knowledge as through your connections. Is that true?
100%. I used to be a member of this network group a while ago, and they said one sentence that always stuck in my head. This was many years ago: givers gain. The more you give, the more you gain. And it's been one of those things I live by. If I see somebody who needs connection with somebody else, I'm the first person to make the connection, not looking for anything in return. And somehow it always comes back with a nice return. But talking about Meetin, Meetin is a platform that we just actually signed a contract, exclusivity contract with the whole Middle East. They will be using it out of Jordan, starting out of Jordan and the whole MENA region. They're going to be using Meetin.com, which is a platform my friend and my business partner came up with, Rick Raditz. And since then, we've been working really hard on getting it on an international platform that could compete with Zoom. It's an American company, so we're really excited for everybody to use and get it some market share.
That is so cool. And what I love about what's going on with Meetin is that it's this sort of egalitarian approach to how to create connection amongst people, where it isn't this big corporate thing. It is available to everyone, and it's creating this sort of real-time sense of connection that organizations are really latching onto, because it's so seamless. And so Rick, who's the technical visionary behind what Meetin is all about, combined with Mo and his expertise, and Scott and some other amazing people who are involved in that project. It's just, it's really
Scott Schilling's involved with that too.
Yeah.
I forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
Forgot about you, Scott. Sorry.
How could you?
I know, it's unbelievable.
So Mo, as you're putting on these seminars and doing some of these things, what's really the heart of the message that you are sharing with entrepreneurs?
So I built a business model called the Matrix, and basically it's 5 levels: the survival stage, the stability stage, the growth stage, innovation, and graduation. So each business should run through those 5 stages, which is you start in survival stage where your emotion is high and low. You're so excited, but you're depressed 10 minutes later because you're doing everything. And that survival stage has a limitation. If you extend your limitation being in that survival stage, most likely your business is going to plateau or fail. So what we do in what I try to teach my student is you go to survival stage because it's really important stage to go into, but you don't stay very long. Then you jump into stability where you build foundation, leadership. Once you focus on that leadership in foundation and team and upgrading your client base, then what you do, you go into growth and start acquiring and go higher and higher in the business. And then you decide, in my household items, I'm in innovation mode, I'm making a lot of money, I want to invent something where it lasts. That's one option. And then you decide, how do you want to graduate? Do you want to file for your S1 and become public, or become a silent partner or do an M&A? But that's the model. It's called the Matrix, and it's 5 stages: survival, stability, growth, innovation, and graduation. And that's the model I work with entrepreneurs from step 1 all the way to that step 5.
That is so cool. And you want to plug into what Mo has going on. And the best way to do that is to go and check out his Linktree, which I'm going to put up here on the screen for those of you who are watching live. And for those of you who are listening on the radio, if you go to Linktree, so it's linktr.ee for Linktree /Mo, M-O-E, Aduan, A-D-U-A-N. Go and check out the resources that Mo has there to help you as an entrepreneur, wherever you are in your entrepreneurial journey, to continue to move through those 5 stages and to create the future and the impact and the outcome that you are dreaming of by learning from somebody who has, done it at the highest level and has helped a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of companies to be able to do that. It's so important. It's so powerful. So make sure you go check out Mo on Linktree, and you can always search him up on any of the social platforms as well to find him there, but you will not regret doing that. So we're going to take another quick break here before we come back for the final segment. You're listening to the Legacy Leadership Show with Adrian and Tom Chenault and our guest, Moe Aduan.
We love you, Mo. It is so fun having you here. My wife is even watching. She's on the top of it. She just ran like a 6-minute mile up a mountain.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, she just flies. I mean, the woman is just a whirling dervish. It's really good to see her just out there exercising like crazy, because she has been putting on some weight and she's trying to peel it. So no, I could not.
You don't want to tell her that, Tom.
All right, I won't. She won't hear that.
She looks amazing. I came to your house about a couple of months ago. She looks amazing.
All right, we're back. It's Tom Chenault. That's Adrian Chenault, and it is the Legacy Leadership Radio Show. You guys, I know you're wondering why in the world we had Mo on here if it's a home-based business show, because you've got a home-based business. And if you want to scale it, what you're doing in your little business, no matter how small it is the same thing Mo's doing. He's taken something that's an idea and turn it into something gigantic, which was what you're up to. Treat your business like a business. Go look at his Linktree, learn those stages. Just think about your business, man. It's so frustrating at the very beginning. Then it gets a little bit of stability. It's all the same. So play it big. Get hold of this guy. He's a mentor to me. I said that earlier today, which is hard to believe because he's like 12. It's very cool. Go ahead.
I totally agree. So Mo, you're certainly well up that progression in your own right. And I love watching the way that you're thinking about contributing and paying it forward to others in the form of entrepreneurship, in the form of mentoring, in the form of philanthropy. As you think about this stage of your career and the impact that you're creating, what are the things that are the most important to you to be known for, what's that impact that you're ultimately looking to create in the world?
I think the one thing that helped me get to where I am and connecting all the dots and allowing things to happen naturally is the ability to be fluid. Fluidity is a key, I feel like, and being able not to fight things when they happen, but trying to work with them, and being able to have an open mind to things. What I'd like to see my entrepreneurs do, as I grow up very young, at a very young age, where my dad was an entrepreneur, but he was a horrible one. And he stayed up late all the time, and we never made any money. So, and then when he comes home in a bad mood because he didn't do any sales and he didn't do well. So what I want to do is teach entrepreneurs basically how to not be me if they have kids, their kids doesn't have to suffer the way I suffered because my dad's entrepreneur. So that's when we're talking about the survival stage and going to stability stage, where the business doesn't affect you as much. When you get home, you go home to your kids and whether you did the biggest sale and you're the happiest, or you had a bad day at work, it does not affect your kids. That's one thing. The second thing, being able to spend time with it, because most entrepreneurs are working 60 to 80 hours a week. And that was my dad. We never seen him because he's trying to build his business. Basically working smart, where you're working normal hours and you have a structure, you have an actual business. And you're detaching yourself from it at certain point of the day so you can go and be with your family.
How important is that balance between family and work, especially with entrepreneurs? Because the intention is always get the job done, and you're almost measured by the level that you're willing to kill yourself. But everybody loses if you do that. You've got to have balance, right, Mo?
Well, 100%, because you can be successful in business and make a lot of money. Does that mean you're successful in life? I don't think so. You have to be successful. It has to be balanced. You have to be successful with your kids, with your wife, with your family, with your community, before you're successful in business. It can't be one or the other. It has to be everything has to match. It's a balance. As long as you do that, I think your business will succeed by itself when you stop chasing it.
That's so true. And the last thing you want is to get what you want at all costs, only to have paid all costs and have no one around you to enjoy it with, or you really have to make sure that on that entrepreneurial journey that you are thinking about yourself as a whole person and not just in this one category, because if you're only optimizing for success in that one area of your life, it's not going to be satisfying even if you do manage to get to the top of the mountain. And so that's a really, really important thought.
How did you get to the government of Jordan? I mean, the relationships how did you do that?
I have a lot of relationships with people I've done business with from the other side of the world. So when I went in there, they were able to introduce me to the platform that the government is putting together, and I provided tons of value for 3 days straight. And then they were able to introduce me to a bunch of people because they saw the value that we're providing, and now they want to partner up with us and do all those agreements, which is great. I think, in fact, a team of them is coming to visit Colorado in July, which is great for Colorado to introduce it to the other side of the world and bring visitors here to Denver. So I'm very excited about that.
That's it, right? It's long-term relationships and maintaining those relationships and nurturing those relationships and seeing the value there. And it's adding tremendous value. It has to be both of those things, because if there's one without the other, then you're missing a huge piece of the puzzle. And that's exactly why that continues to pay off over and over again for you, Mo. So I think that's a great place to tie a bow around this. Mo, I've been so looking forward to this conversation. everybody listening and watching, make sure you go and connect with Moe on social. Make sure you plug into what he shared on his Linktree, because this is somebody who not only has that knowledge, but is somebody that builds relationships, that does what they say they're going to do, that is connectional in the way that he goes about things. And Moe, you've just been tremendously generous to me personally, to Contact Mapping, with connections and with support. I'm so grateful for you. So it's been great having you on the show today. Moe Aduan, we'll have to get you back here another time, and we'll see you all next week.
Would love to. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. Thanks, Andy.
Very good job. We're not gone yet. That is so. Rob Wilson's listening.
Yeah.
Rob, call him. You are, I'm just telling you, this guy's just starting a business, and he's going to mess it up if he doesn't call you on the phone. I am positive of it. He's on the screen. God had him watch this show for the very first time. It's just unbelievable. This is your guy, Rob, and all of you. I mean, it's incredible. And Scott Schilling, I'm telling you what, this guy is a legend. No one's done more from the back of a room. You remember when we met him?
I do. I'll never forget.
We were down in an event, and he's speaking, and I'm kind of rolling my eyes because he's the keynote speaker, and I'm so arrogant and thinking I should have been the keynote speaker, and Scott was. And all of a sudden, in walks a guy named Bob Bodine, who is the most powerful man in the National Football League you've never heard of. That came out of the mouth of Roger Goodell, and he placed Deion Sanders, for the record, at the University of Colorado. And he walks by, and all of a sudden he hears a voice. He goes, "Is that Scott Schilling?" And I go, "Yeah, who is he?" He goes, "You don't know who Scott Schilling is?" I go, "Well, no." He goes, "The guy's unbelievable." So he made me go in and listen to the rest of the speech, because he knew I was like an arrogant idiot that needed to learn something. And it was all Scott Schilling. True story. Do you know that?
True story.
You were there.
Scott is amazing. I love working with him. We've been friends for a while, and he's just tremendous. Amazing.
Yeah, call him, Christina, for sure. Yeah, all of you. I mean, the guys, Moe is a beast, I'm telling you. And when you call somebody on the phone, figure out what Moe's going to get. I mean, figure out a conversation where Moe wins too. Not you're just this little sponge, but you're actually given to him, because the guy is all about contribution, and you will not regret it, right?
Exactly right.
We love you, Moe. This was fun,
you.
man.
Thanks so much.
This is great. I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone.
Can't wait to see you.
Me
All
too.
right.
Soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Love
See you
you
next
all.
week. Thanks. Bye-bye.